Hey there, fellow professors, faculty, instructors, teachers, lecturers. Professor Walters here, and today we're here in Turku, Finland, and today I want to answer a question that I was sent, and it was this. Professor Walters, what is something you didn't expect when becoming a professor? So what are some of the surprises that happened after you were there? And I'll be honest with you, when I start looking through some of the things, there's some more of the serious, like, behind-the-scene issues I didn't expect to happen, and some of the in front of the students things I didn't expect. And one, if I want to think about a funny thing, is honestly just how few students actually do read the syllabus. No matter how hard you try and how much you tell them to read it, how much everything's in the syllabus, they still don't read it. And they still send emails. You're like, but it's in the syllabus. I thought you'd read that. And they still can't find it when it's right in front of them. So to combat that, I started having a syllabus quiz. Thanks, Seal, for that idea. Where they have to answer the 10 most asked questions I get every semester. And once I started doing that, I literally had 400 less emails every semester because they weren't asking what the first exam was, second exam, or third exam. So that's one of those things. Another kind of serious thing I noticed is after I became a professor, just the fact that for some students, me as a professor, I'm their kind of only connection they have in life, or the only connection they have with the school that they're teaching at. And they're like, I don't have anything here, but you were my connection. You were my rock. And that was a really powerful thing. Like when I get students that transfer in, they're like, I didn't have those first 2 years to get to know people. I didn't know anybody, and I didn't feel like I was a part. And you made me feel a part of it. And I didn't realize what an impact that was. It was kind of surprising. That's why I really take care when new students come in. I'm like, hey, come talk, join some student organizations, find some things out, because I didn't realize how few connections some students have when they come to school. And when you think about it, some students, they don't have any friends that went to school, college. They have no family members that went to college. They don't even know what to expect. And so you become that connection, and that's a really powerful thing. And going along with that is, you don't realize the impact you have on some of your students. Like, some students will come up and tell you, I loved your class, it was really great. Some students years later tell you in an email, or they see you at an alumni event, how much your class meant to them. And you're like, I didn't know you took my class. And you never know the impression you're going to leave on people. And sometimes it's just about representation, like the examples you use in class. It's like, hey, a professor heard me because they used a product that I use in my class, or they talked about a situation I'm dealing with. And that's one of those things that really moved me. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about some of the stories where students were like, it helped me get through something. It really impacted me. And you're like, wow, I thought I was just teaching. I didn't realize I was expanding minds and helping you see the world better and these kind of things. So it was really, really something unexpected. Now, if we go behind the scenes of the professor stuff, another thing I probably should have guessed, but I wasn't quite expecting, was just how long academic meetings go. Like, when I worked in the private sector, if it needs to be a meeting, it better need to be a meeting. Otherwise, if it can be an email, it should be an email or a text, and we can move on. Academic meetings tend to go on forever. I remember the first job teaching I had, we knew how long the meeting would go by how many baked goods that our boss brought in. Bonnie, bless her heart, I love you, Bonnie. She would bring in, if the basket was big, full of muffins and breads and other stuff, we knew we'd be there for hours, okay? If we knew she didn't bring anything, it's going to be a 30-minute meeting, we're in and out. But the length of the meetings in the academic world is crazy, and the number of meetings you have, which is like, could this just be an email? That's why I like one of the best things, my new department head, Carlos, he's like, look, if it can be an email, make it an email. Let's be more efficient. I'm like, I love you, Carlos. Thank you. So that was a nice thing. Some other things, like the not good side of things, what I've seen, and I remember I've taught all over the world. I've taught, I think, in 12 different universities over the years and colleges and stuff. And one of the things I was kind of surprised to see is just how patronizing professors are to other professors, especially if they're below them. So there's ones where people go, there's tenured professors, and then there's non-tenured professors. But then there's specialized faculty or non-tenured track faculty, and how they all kind of look down on them. And no matter how great your idea is, if you're not a tenured professor, they just don't listen to you. Or if you're an assistant professor trying to get tenure, those full professors might not listen to your good idea because they know the best. And that was one of those frustrating things where you're like, hey, that's a really good idea. We should maybe go with that. And that's one of those things that really surprised me, was that kind of hierarchy there, but it's also the hierarchy when they thought what was a good idea, not a good idea. I'm like, we're all smart people here. Everybody can come up with good ideas, from the students to the faculty to the president of the university. And that's one of those things when universities really succeed, is when they start letting those ideas pass through the different things and they don't have those blocks in there. Because that's one thing I saw in some places where I did work, that they failed because of that. I've worked at other places where it's a lot more information. That's why I like where I work now. Like when I talk about, hey, things we could do for teaching and helping out, it gets heard. But other places I worked, I was just so surprised how it was, if you're not at this level, your ideas don't matter. So if you're a faculty member, what surprised you when you became a faculty, when you became a professor and instructor that you weren't quite expecting? Please put it down in the comment section below so we can help other people be prepared better for when they become faculty, they become professors, so they can be ready to be a better professor, a better researcher, and a better person at their campus. So I wish you all the best, and I'll say bye from here in Turku, Finland.